Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I know that this article that I'm going to use for this video will not be very popular, and a lot of people will have some opinions. And I pick my words carefully. Opinions, not assessments, opinions. And that is because they have a worldview that runs like this. We are good, they are bad, and they are whomever the government tells us that they are bad, and we are good because we are told we are good. By whom? Okay, so we have here a Russian court, bad, that sentenced to life a soldier from the Azov Battalion, which is called by the Russians here a neo-Nazi battalion soldier, for committing war crimes. So he was sentenced to life in prison. Now, those guys that I mentioned at the beginning of this video will say, there was just a show trial. Why? Without evidence, they know that there was a show trial because they were told that the Russians are bad and everything the Russians are doing is bad. Now, is it true? No. But hey, that requires reason and logic and evidence and fact. So they will just yell, that was a mock trial, without knowing anything about it. I don't know anything about it either. That's why I'm just reporting it. So let's see what's going on here. Russia today. June 1st, 2023, Ukrainian, this is the title, Ukrainian neo-Nazi battalion soldier sentenced to life in prison for killing civilians. The Supreme Court of Russia's Donetsk People's Republic, DPR, has sentenced a member of the notorious Azov unit. First point that some weasels might make, hey, Donetsk People's Republic is not recognized, that means it has no legitimacy and authority. And I will counter with this. All right, well, how about the International Criminal Court from The Hague? Does it have jurisdiction over Putin, the president-elect of Russian Federation? The answer is also no. Why? Because Russia is not a signatory of the ICC. ICC is not a United Nations body. It's just an international club. Like I explained many times, I used to practice Kyokushin karate. And Kyokushin karate, until Oyama, Masutatsu Oyama, the founder of Kyokushin, was one branch. It was the International Karate Organization, Kyokushin Organization. When he died, I think in 1993, 1994, when he died, it sprang and became many international karate Kyokushin organizations that they did not recognize one another. So they were like, I don't know how many are over there, 10 maybe? I lost track. So they all have their competitions, grading, world tournaments. One guy from a world tournament from this branch is not recognized here, or here, or here, or here. They're just international bodies. And countries with their own weasels, they recognize this branch, or this branch, or this branch. Is no more one like the United Nations, like the International Karate Kyokushin Organization under Sosai Masutatsu Oyama. Here, so that's just so you know what the International Criminal Court of The Hague is. United States is not a signatory of it as well. Why? Because they don't want their weasels to be tried by some weasels. We're above these guys. So is China, so is India, Turkey, and many other countries. Okay? It's just an organization. So let's go back to this one. It might not have recognition. It has recognition by one or two or three countries, the same. ICC has recognition by a number of countries, but not by others. All right, let's move back here. A staff sergeant from the notorious neo-Nazi Azov Battalion has been sentenced to life in prison by the Supreme Court of the Donetsk People's Republic, DPR. Maxim Kondrashev was convicted on Wednesday of killing 4 civilians as they attempted to flee the city of Mariupol last March. I don't know, this is what these guys are saying. as the Ukrainians also say that the Russians killed those guys in Bucha, and all that, and they might be, I don't know. But you see, those courts in Ukraine are recognized, even though they are based on a coup d'etat that occurred in 2014, and then elected by not the whole Ukraine, but some part of Ukraine, because the other guys did not vote for them. So anyway, you may say they're not legitimate either. That's why Russia says, well, wait a minute, the leadership in Ukraine right now is illegitimate. That's the whole purpose, because not everybody voted for there, or at least were allowed to vote, or they wanted to vote, because they were outside of it. So you are the president of those guys, but not of everybody else. So anyway, I think this guy here, who is sentenced, I think he's just, that's my assessment. I don't know what he did. I'm just reading what the Russians are saying. Now, if you have that worldview that they are evil and everything about that is bad and evil and wrong, then obviously you will remain with that impression without facts and evidence at hand. And you're going to go and vote, because that's how people vote here in the United States of America, without evidence and facts. And even if they say that they see that that guy over there who is about to be voted in the office is not all there, they're still going to vote for him. That tells you. Anyway, so this guy might be just sentenced as an example, but hey, I don't know. I wasn't over there. I don't know. These guys said, let's see what else they have to add here. He was found guilty of murdering 2 or more people, as well as the cruel treatment of civilians and the use of forbidden methods of warfare. It was established during the trial that a soldier, along with several other troops, were standing guard at a crossroads in the vicinity of the Azovstal plant on March 2nd, 2022, around 10 p.m. Kondrashev opened fire on a van after it failed to stop on his command. Well, I don't know. All 4 people inside the vehicle were killed as a result, 3 men and 1 woman. According to the prosecutor's office, the Ukrainian staff sergeant clearly saw that behind the wheel and inside this van were civilians wearing civilian clothes. Well, I have questions about that, many of them, and I don't have time, but you know what I mean? In a war, if you stay and they don't stop, then what are you going to do? Even if you see them, they are civilians, you can't assume that they're not enemies in civilian clothes. That's a war zone. I don't know, my friends. He was captured by Russian forces in mid-May of last year, court documents reveal. I'm pretty sure it's more than this, but last year, Russia's investigative committee accused the Ukrainian military of obstructing the evacuation of civilians from Mariupol at the height of fighting there, which reportedly resulted in more than 3,000 deaths. So that was the evidence done by provided by these guys. If you have order, because when you're over there, say no car passes through that thing. No car passes through that thing. You know what I mean? That's in a war. You're not going to say, excuse me, are you civilians? Oh, they didn't stop. It's okay. We let them go. I don't think that's the way. You don't shoot at them. You shoot at the wheels. That's for sure. All right, the tires. You try to get the car out of service or whatever, the van. Don't shoot that guy if you see a civilian. But what if he didn't see it? Well, you know, it's murder by negligence. But on the other hand, is war zone. As I said, I don't see any how they play this around. I think he is possibly an example. Set an example. 4 people died over there. Imagine those people, let's say, were your family. What would you do? Would you come and say, it's okay, Mr. Soldier here shot and killed them because he got orders and he had to? Are you going to be okay with that? I mean, just imagine that those are your, I don't know, as I said, close relatives. Would you look at it in the same way as being here with, relaxed and watching my video and probably not being hungry or thirsty or any other urges? You would think differently, and I know that. Now, I don't know what happened. The point here is that guy was sentenced to life in prison, and they say he is from the Azov Battalion, which is called by these guys neo-Nazi battalion. I'm pretty sure the same thing will happen and is happening on the other side, and it already happened, and a lot of injustice occurs everywhere. Don't expect. This is by going around the block a few times. I don't know if that was justice was served or not, but I have my questions, and I don't think they will be ever answered because nobody would care. And I do not know who's gonna sort things out. And maybe some people will be, some criminals will be punished, and I'm pretty sure some innocent ones would also be punished on both sides, unfortunately. And then again, makes you think, why was this war needed for profits, interests? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.